Ohnstad. I am the creator of ColourArte products, and this is going to be kind of the first chance of doing a live. I'm going to show off some of the new Purely Pigment products and also test out some equipment and the feasibility of doing more and more of these lives, because I'd like to do, maybe a weekly color mix show and then a long version actual video, okay? So 27 years ago, I started this company, ColourArte. The goal was to make unique products for the market that had not been seen before. And here we are 27 years later. It's kind of crazy. And what's happened to the market and how exciting it's been and all the fluid art stuff. But 20 years ago, we made a product called Primary Elements. And when we first launched it, we put them in our watercolor line. And then over the years, the first 16 years, we were showing people how to put it in a medium or a clear paint base to use as a brush paint, like put it in gum arabic to make a watercolor, put it in a glazy medium to make a glaze, put it in a heavy gel medium to make an impasto paint. So when the fluid art movement started around 16, 17, I admit it didn't really hit me that previous what we were doing was mixing them for brush painters, but we hadn't really thought about what do we do to turn it into a paint first? I mean, the difference is when we buy a tube paint, right, it comes in a tube, there's some, there's a thickener in there that gives us a certain viscosity, means the thickness of the paint. And so, the Amsterdam, by the way, when the bloom technique came out, Amsterdam and acrylic and golden were like the two most preferred tube paints, and they share a similar chemistry. Actually, I think that's why everybody was using them for the cell activator. But when you look at a mica powder or the primary elements or any products that are made as a powder in a jar, I don't see anywhere here where there's anything for some kind of thickener. So I would be remiss in not doing this Purely Pigment reveal without actually talking about going a step back and then try to go a couple steps forward and turn these actually into a paint, okay? So what's the closest thing on the market that we can buy that is a clear paint base? Hey, Tara, nice to see you, honey. It would be heavy gel medium. Now, Liquitex, believe it or not, a little history, was the first company to ever make heavy gel medium, and then Golden and other companies have come on. Today I'm using Nova because it's pretty reasonable. You can get it from Southern California. But if you think about it, pigments don't have any thickener in them. A fluid acrylic, and we are one of the many companies that make a fluid acrylic. Again, no thickener in it. We start playing with the Purely Pigments. There's no thickener in this. So we're going to turn them into a paint first, and then I'm going to give you a shortcut on how I think I can make a clear paint base. Don't think of this as a medium, but a clear paint base. So I'm going to flip my camera over. Let's hope this works, guys. And okay, why do I see a shadow? Are you seeing a shadow? I'm seeing some kind of shadow on my... Now, this is not good. Hi, Kathy Mack. Do you see a shadow in the screen or something blocking this? There we go. Hey, 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 hey. There we go. Okay. So, very basic. Is this better, Tara? Very basic. I've got a teaspoon of heavy gel medium in this cup. Okay. And I'm just going to show you if I wanted to make this out of a whatever, a mica or a fluid acrylic, or in the case of the Purely Pigments, I'd be turning it into a paint first, right? All right, so let's try this. Since I played with this kiwi green color, it's called Sour Apple. Now, there is a little mixing bead. There's also a security seal on these things, so I have not open them up, to be honest. This is the first time I'm opening up, and I've got my little security seal on there. So I'm going to try to just go to 1 drop. Now, what are Purely Pigments? While we're sitting here talking about this. Purely Pigments is 100% color put in a bottle with just enough carrier to get it to flow. And to give you a benchmark, your fluid acrylics on the market, and ours are very rich, there might be 3 mils of color per 30, which is an ounce, versus basically 25 to 26 mils of color in the 30 here. Again, to give you some maximum color. Now, let's see if 1 drop is going to make a difference. In 1 teaspoon. Hi, Shy. Oh. A lot of people like this green. Okay. That's a pretty green for 1 little itty bitty drop, not bad. But what if I want just now? And Tara, you're right. This is like getting 5 to 8 bottles of ink in 1 bottle. Don't think of this as an ink. Think of this as a pure coloring system. And it hit me a couple weeks ago. I made these because I wanted to make something that was pure. There's a second drop just went in. And make something that could go into resin. But then it hit me. Think of what we're doing with all these pouring techniques. We're adding extenders and Floetrol and this and that and glue and water. And basically we're thinning down the color by 70%. Wouldn't it be nice to have a pure coloring system to add back that color, right? Oh, hi, Dee. That's one of my favorite colors too. Add back that color that's been washed out. I mean, one of the #1 things I hear is, oh my God, the red is so dull. It dried almost black. It looks matte. What happened? And I want to say, well, guys, you just took 70% of the red out. What did you expect, right? What did you expect? Now, the first 10 colors in this release, I mean, very basic, the smallest acrylic crayon set you can imagine. I'm just going to sit this back over here kind of out of the way. And I think I'm going to do like 10 or 12 more right away. Here, let me get a paper towel, guys. We have a little oopsie here on this lid here. I recommend getting the paper off before you try to put it back on, as that's a lot of color trying to get off of that thing. So this color is called Sour Apple, okay? This color is called My Papaya. It's a coral. I wanted to try to get more on the pinky side of the coral, but it is a really beautiful, bright, brilliant, in-your-face coral color. We have a color called Mellow Yellow. Yes, Mellow Yellow. It is in your face, bright, bright yellow. I'm still worried about that green one. I'm going to sit this up just to be safe. Then there is the Holly Berry, which is a bright in-your-face red. It's a quinacridine red. Not to be confused with quinacridine magenta, which is what this is. This is called pure magenta. Now I can only get away with, this looks more coral. Yeah, this is the actual coral. Yeah. This pure magenta, now I could only get away with using the word pure in the names once or twice. And so this is pure quinacridine magenta is what the pure magenta is. The Perfect Peacock is your pure phthalo green, one of my favorite colors in the whole wide world to play around with, okay? This is one called Vibrant Aqua. Now, those of you that ordered that 12-piece Prism Pour set, this was the sample that you got, which was the Vibrant Aqua. I'm going to leave that up for a minute because I'm going to talk about that in a second. One of the last, Black Plum. Consider this your diazazine violet, pure 100% in-your-face diazazine violet. I mean, this is, and just to give you a benchmark, this stuff is triple the cost of any other color. When you're buying violets, red violets and regular purple violets are 3 times more expensive than any kind of blue or yellow. This last color is called Azure Blue. It's a pure phthalo blue, okay? And then the bonus, or the little extra, and you can see from the color on the bottom, this color is called Dancing Fuchsia. Yeah, this is a stunning color, D. Let me see if I can shake this up. These do have mixing beads in them. This one has a bit of sparkle in it because I was trying to tease everybody with what happened if we put a little bling in these things. Okay, I'm going to move these to the side because I'm going to do a little color mixing. I promised you there was a shortcut to doing this paint base. And when I'm mixing up colors, even on my lab table, I'm going to work with small little bases. I make small little samples at a time to test things, right? So what I've done is I've taken that heavy gel medium and the vivid enamel, and I've mixed up 1 part heavy gel medium and vivid enamel, which would also translate to your paint base. So putting this in here is basically making this stuff a paint again. But I'm gonna not put this in the cup first, and there's a reason why. I wanna see what my color in my mic is gonna do first. So there's a reason why I didn't add varnish to this mix. First of all, it can be used for all kinds of paint bases. Someone could take this and put GAC 800 and do a ring pour with this mix. There's a lot of different paint bases you could use by leaving the varnish out, but varnish is pretty pricey, and I really treasure my Jo Sonja varnish. So when I'm making a color and I don't really know exactly how much mica to how much color, what the varnish, no, this won't dull anything, sweetheart. Now, I should be measuring this, even though my spoon has some gel medium in it, just so we're staying with the measurements. So that's 1 ounce of varnish, right? Jo Sonja varnish. Now, you've probably never seen a big tub of fennel flour. To tease you guys, here's a big, beautiful tub of fennel flour, one of my favorite primary element colors in the world. It's a really pretty orange, yellow orange. So let's get one of our little scoops out. I'm just going to take, I know a flat scoop I like this is maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. Let's put some of that in there. Because this is going to tell me what my true color looks like, right? Before you add this very milky mix. You want to see what the color is going to look like that you're mixing up first. Okay, now I gotta say, in the varnish, it takes my breath away to see it like this when it's so clear. I get like, I guess an ASMR for your eyes. I mean, it's pretty sexy looking at this stuff under the camera. I don't know what you think, Tara. Okay. So I looked this up, and when we list our colors up on the website, this one particularly might say a yellow orange in a red gold pearl, right? Now, I normally don't use 3 colors of mica because they can count each other out, and I'll explain that in another video, but red and violets are close to each other, that I'm gonna take this, hi Shy, I'm gonna take this and add a little scoop of the, well, I grabbed the interference. I didn't mean to. I meant to grab the big sparkle, but since this does have big flakes in it, let's try to add some interference violet to it, the real fine stuff, right? Because I want to make my, maybe I got oh my God, can you see that purple go in? Oh my God, the camera, that light. I have a really nice big LED light above the top so you can see how the colors mix. By the way, guys, if you're interested in me doing like a weekly color mixing video and going through all different ways of how to make your own colors, let me know in the comments because I would really be interested in doing that for you. Okay, so what if I wanted it deeper? We happen to have a color. It was one I didn't mention in the lineup. I had it to the side. My apologies. It's called Golden Nickel. Now, you're going to find Nickel Azo Gold, Golden Azo. This one's Golden Nickel. I'll reference the Nickel Azo Gold, or the closest I can get in a concentrated form, and by upping the name here and there. But my thought was if I could put a drop of this in here, it will deepen it. Now remember, I got to be careful about that paper. I should have ripped off my little safety seals to begin with. But yet, I wanted you guys to see the packaging. I had them bring this to me yesterday. Okay, so I know it looks very brown, but trust me, there's a lot of red oxide and yellow and orange in this. So I'm just going to take one very bubbly drop. Oops, it looks like it put almost 3 drops in there. Oops, oops, oops. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. That took that down to a really nice caramel color. Okay, so I've got my varnish in here. This was the shortcut. Since I've already made a clear paint base, this is actually a clear paint base. Let's get the shadows on the right side. I'm gonna use, it's called a 1/2 tablespoon, and a 1/2 tablespoon's like a 1/2 ounce. So let's start with the 1/2 ounce first, because this might be perfect just the way it is, okay? It might, if I went to a whole ounce, it might be too light. And then we're sitting here monkeying back and forth. Let's put more mica, more fennel flower, more interference violet. Let's put more stuff in it. If this turns out perfect, then we know we can double the recipe that we put in there. In the beginning, it's kind of important you log your recipes and your color combination. I have a recipe for everything. I've got recipe boxes like what you just use for a cooking box, right? When you do cooking recipes. Once I find something that I love, I just write up a little card. Okay, so this would be 1/2. That's pretty rich. I don't really have any cell activator to... Now, I don't think I lost my sparkle. Why I'm doing this and being silent right now, I want to make sure that one little drop of the golden azo didn't change that too much. Now, let's have a little fun. What if I wanted to deepen it? Let's add a drop of pure magenta while we can, right? I mean, we can keep playing with these things. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I wanted to make it browner. That's fine. I'm sorry. The next thing I wanted to say was if I wanted to take it to an actual autumny brown, okay, taking a blue of this stuff that's so strong would kill this color. We wouldn't even get the nuance of getting it to a nice brown. But the Vivid Intense, we know, is not quite as saturated, but still going to give us a good way to modify it. The other way could be a few greens of a primary element that's blue, but I'm just going to put a single drop of the Vivid Intense because I want to brown this up. See if it'll let me do that. Well, okay. So then what do we do? If it's going to turn green, I find making recipes difficult in the morning. You're right. Okay. Now look what that one drop of the Vivid Intense did. Imagine if we'd put the whole thingy in there. So if I want to get back to where I was going with the brown and fix this, I would probably put more of the golden azo. Yeah, it's a nice sage green. A golden azo. And even some of this papaya color, because it's got enough red in there to bring that back in, but it's not like that hollyberry red. I did not plan this, and I didn't try this in advance, which is why you're seeing me fix this right on camera. But this is going to be the same thing you guys would go through, right? Okay, now we're getting a caramel brownie red. We're getting our red back. And if we really wanted to yellow up and get it back where the fennel flower was, because I really do love fennel flower, we could add yellow. But that's still, I still have my sparkle, so that's not bad. Okay, I promised I wasn't going to make this too long, and I know it looks like we've already been talking for 19 minutes. All right, one last thing I want to let you guys know. Like I said, when we were doing the samples, we were sending out this, what color is that one? The Vibrant Aqua, okay. Yeah, the Vibrant Aqua is what everybody got. Then we did the secret sample, that $99 secret sample. Well, folks, if you didn't order then, you kind of missed something pretty fun, okay? Because the secret samples were all metallics. And I'm gonna flip over this camera and show you guys now. I think what I'm gonna do, and I'll explain the situation, when we got these labels, they're beautiful, they rolled on the label, but when I tried to wipe them down with glass cleaner, because they're varnished, they're supposed to be able to take cleaning them off with a glass cleaner, some of the black rubbed off the holographic writing. So the printer is making brand new labels, and I'm gonna end up with about 2,000 of these. Now, if you don't sit and work with a whole bunch of glass cleaner, your bottles are probably gonna be just fine. But we wanted to make it right. And so 2,000 of these bottles, what I thought I would do is we're gonna probably do another run of 10 or 12 colors that are matte like these first 10. But then for just this holiday season, just this December into January, I'm gonna blow a whole bunch of these out in a metallic, because the phase 2 of this line will be a 2-ounce metallic, and it's gonna have a different name. I'll reveal that later. So I thought in the meantime, for the holiday, whether we do it a grab bag, we mark these off half off because they're only 1 ounce instead of 2 ounce. I'm gonna push these out as much as I can. So let me show what they look like. I've been dabbling around, just kind of dropping drops of them on this canvas that had some crackle paste. Take a look at this, guys. Tara, what do you think of that? Dee, is everybody watching? Hopefully you guys can see how brilliant this stuff is. Okay, so basically, like this orange, this is a really beautiful, maybe like a red oxide vibrant orange mix, put in a stunning, stunning orange mica. I put a few drops down here this morning. I was showing my girlfriend on camera, okay. I think I can get away with laying some of the red here. What's so cool is how all of that stuff went into the cracks, because I kind of did blue and let it dry, and then did the red and let it dry, and I just kind of let them dry. Now, what's real cool about this base, the closest thing to this I can explain is a varnish blend. Once it's set, it's set. It was a few hours after this dried, and I put like a wet washcloth in it, and I got no lift, I got no color. Yet if you were gonna put this on top of a mound full of color, like you wanted to put this under a cell activator, right? You have to let all the paint beneath it cure first, okay? But I am blown away by these, and I think these first 4 I need to release. This first one is, they're not named at all, but it's an Indian yellow and a really beautiful red gold pearl. This is actually a cool red in our Ember Fire. If you've ever bought our Ember Fire mica, it's a bright red that, yeah, always add ink. You won't have to add any ink to this. This is like getting 8 times a bottle. These things are, this stuff is strong. So this one has a mica, we call it Ember Fire, but it's the prettiest red mica that I've ever seen, and you can see where we're getting that red metallic shimmer in there. This one, you can tell it's almost gone. I have to make more. It's, if I had to give you an equivalent, it's equivalent to the cerulean blue and the prism pour. That was one of my favorite colors that I made the entire time we did the prism pour. And I could not believe how gorgeous that color came out first try. Yeah, this right now it's called B501, right? Now, some of these samples went out to you guys. The people that bought the $99 with the free sample, you got these. These are in these that are going out, okay? But I think what I'm going to do is one more little offer with XYZ dollars, you'll get a free sample. You would have those bottles forever. Talking, well, maybe. Depends on how much you're going to mix up, Miss Tara. This, I've run through these metallics pretty fast. I can't tell you how much I keep dropping this blue on everything I can find. And then this is that beautiful orange color there. Now what I did, just to give you an idea, I wanted to finish the red right here. Let me see if I can get this out of the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. Now you have to shake it, get the mic up off the bottom, right? Then for some reason, I'm finding it easier to squeeze some up before I take the top off. I don't know why, because there's a lot of mica in these things. And it's not behaving for me like I wanted it to. I'll tell you another color that's lacking is this gold. There's not much of that gold left. I don't know why. It's like the mica's packed on the bottom of that thing. Tell you're playing with my tests here, kids. Literally testing this stuff live. Hi, Dee. Yeah, it is. Let's see. There we go. Now, it's not going to shimmer as I'm laying it down, right? I'm just kind of let this spread. I don't want it to ruin my other colors, so I'm not going to lift it and let it run, per se. What's cool is, look what's happening here. That gold is running into the veins already. Look at it. It's starting to trace down into the veins and take over. It's kind of cool. All I know is I think this stuff could be put under a cell activator. I love how it dries so fast. I think in another episode, I have a swipe that I did that didn't come out that exciting. But I think if I brush paint some of these metallics over the top and then resin, this could turn out to be a nice piece. I could see doing touch-up work. And obviously this crackle thing is really interesting, seeing how it behaves on the crackle. I plan on resining this really soon, and I will show you guys when it's resined, okay? So I wanted to keep this sort of short. We're at 27 minutes. If you're interested in seeing another group of the mats come out, let me know in the comments. If you're interested in this metallic, I'm ready to do grab bags, you know, but I think people would prefer knowing I'm going to get these 10 colors of the metallics, you know, we let them know what's in there, but get it at a reduced cost because this is a smaller bottle than we plan on doing the metallics in. I guess that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, please ask them. Hello, Leslie. Hi, Ann. How are you doing, honey? If you guys have any questions or concerns, please let me know. As long as this equipment keeps working, I might be thinking of doing these a couple days a week and kind of showing you what I'm testing and showing how I'm mixing the colors together and how they all work together. So for now, have a beautiful day. Happy coloring up. Thank you, Dee. And hugs and kisses to all you guys out there, and happy playing with color. It's not just, I know everybody goes happy pouring, but hey, happy playing with color. Let's just get a little color in our life. I would